Alright, hello, Dr. Chen, Karen, Dr. Jenkins, if you're watching this. So, my presentation and project that I did this semester, I worked with a nonprofit in service learning where I went ahead and created a anti-marijuana campaign. So, the organization I worked for this semester was Ventura County Straight Up. Sorry, Straight Up Ventura County. Um, and they're a nonprofit organization that focuses on underage binge drinking, impaired driving, marijuana prescription, um, counter drugs, HIV prevention. It's a whole lot of things that they focus on, but the focus is prevention of a lot of substance and a lot of advocacy. So for this presentation, what I chose to do was I went ahead and created an anti-marijuana campaign that would be tailored for the adults of teens, specifically teens, that would be going through this experience in their lives, because the idea was that there's information out there that shows that teens that use marijuana affect their brain development. So teens may not care, but their parents will. And this presentation was designed with that in mind for the parents, so they themselves can be informed and not disregard the importance that is marijuana and their kids. So now, a little background on what I did was I created, like as I said, I created a marijuana campaign that focused on addressing the consequences and effects of substance abuse, specifically marijuana, with developing brains of teenagers. And this campaign and this presentation was done by looking at a lot of existing information that was in the community with a lot of county agencies and departments that had existing information, and working with Straight Up's already current campaign of advocacy and awareness, drug awareness specifically. And so what I was able to do was I was able to work on the presentation by talking to some of the kids that they work with and being able to use that information. While in the mix of this presentation and collecting the information, I had to focus on the audience, because the audience was going to be where the success or failure of this presentation came into play. So I had to think about, as a communication student, how do I address this problem to an audience of adults? I am, by all definitions, an adult, but I am not a parent. So how do I address that? Well, I use what we were taught, and that was one of the biggest theories I thought would play into this role, was the rhetoric theory. I had to adhere to the logic, the emotion, and the credibility. So now, with the credibility, I was going to use that by establishing the information, the research that I work, and the background that I'm kind of using, which is research. And a lot of the heaviest and influential part in this presentation is going to be the logic, because the data is there that shows and supports the effects of what they've been doing. Now I need the parents to understand what their kids may or may not be doing. And by doing so, I was able to use logos and ethos. The pathos part of emotion is something, as a presenter, we all are taught, and it's something that just happens. So now, as a conclusion, as I draw to the conclusion, I was able to use this presentation to present to parents in a successful way. They all appreciated the information that was given to them, because they actually found information that they, one, had either heard before or cast aside as insignificant, because their children say, no, that's not the true, or they hear through other peers that it's not as bad. This starts organizing thoughts, and this starts creating misinformation, so it's becoming the foundation of misinformation. Now through this presentation, they received information that countered that and showed the opposite, that in fact it is detrimental, and the consequences that take place in their children's lives last for years. So as I wrap this up, I was able to learn from this experience a lot of work on autonomy and working independently. As a small organization, Ventura, as a smaller organization, Straight Up didn't have as much resources as big nonprofits, so had to work with limited resources, attention, and and assistance and guidance. So I was able to create a project of my envision to be able to see it how I saw it fit. They approved and they tailored it, but ultimately the autonomy that I was able to pick up from, I hope to be able to use with other nonprofits in Ventura County. Thank you.